Final warning.
I could do this all day.
Captain America Civil War is directed by the Russo brothers, who also directed the absolutely fantastic previous installment in the Captain America films with Winter Soldier. In Civil War, we get most of the characters that we've seen in both of the Avenger films, but this time around, they're not coming together against a common enemy, but fighting each other. And if you've seen any of the trailers, then you pretty much understand where this movie is going. Because of events of previous Marvel films, particularly with Age of Ultron, where Sokovia was basically destroyed, we see that the government now wants to regulate all of the actions of the world's superheroes. And because of this government action comes the central conflict for this story. Because we have on one hand Tony Stark, who is promoting the oversight, but then on the other hand we have Captain America, who is completely opposed to it. And because of this, we see that our superheroes have to choose what side they're on, and as the title Civil War would suggest, war is coming. Now I just want to say straight off the bat that this movie is absolutely incredible. And I'm going to give most of the credit for this film to its directors. The Russo brothers had already created an extremely solid movie with Winter Soldier, and not just a good superhero movie, but a good movie in general. The way that they wove the 70s political thriller aspects in there, from things like 3 Days of the Condor, they elevated that film to something much more than just a fun action movie. And I dare say that with Civil War, they take it a step even further. Nearly every detail of this movie felt like it was meticulously thought out and executed to perfection. And the thing that really surprised me about Civil War was the way that they were able to keep a great balance with everything. This is by far what I would consider to be the darkest film in the MCU, and yet it's not brooding at all. There's a surprising amount of levity in the film, and yet it always feels natural. In this movie, they strike such a great balance between the serious and the humorous moments that you feel the stakes, but you never feel like you're being dragged through darkness and misery. You always keep that sense of fun. The other thing about this movie is that all the characters are so real and relatable. Every hero has an understandable motivation. You never are wondering what drives a character because they lay out very plainly why they are doing what they're doing. You can really get behind everyone. And even though this is a very Captain America-centric film, it's not at all one-sided. They don't pit Iron Man as the bad guy, because there are really good scenes in this movie that show the perspective of either side, so that throughout the film you're constantly questioning what side really is the right one. And of course, the portrayals of these characters are on point as always. Robert Downey Jr. proves time and time again that he is not just here for a paycheck. Tony Stark has always been a fascinating, multifaceted character, and this installment only proves to deepen him still. You can see the torment in him throughout the film for all the previous mistakes that he's made and his drive to prevent them from reoccurring. Is it even possible to not like Chris Evans as Captain America? He's just such a likable, relatable character. He's got that old school sense of straight and narrow mentality where you do the right thing no matter what. And yet you can still see the fight going on within him. He doesn't want to fight his friends, but feels that he has to plant his feet and do what he believes is right. All of the returning cast members do a really solid job. From Bucky to Vision, everybody is on their A game. However, the two standouts for this film have to be Black Panther and Spider-Man. Now, I admittedly am not a huge Spider-Man fan. I grew up watching the Sam Raimi movies and I enjoy the first two of them. And I even liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, even though those films were mediocre at best. However, after seeing the two scenes that Spider-Man is in Civil War, I repeat, 2 scenes, I've completely changed my tune on this character. I'm not gonna say that he's the best Spider-Man we've ever had because there's not enough screen time for him for me to say that accurately, but Tom Holland as Spider-Man put a smile on my face. For one thing, he's the right age for this character finally. He has the powers, but he's still learning how to use them. He's got the quippy one-liners. Everything he's doing in this film was just so much fun. I'm just so happy that Disney Marvel finally has input in this character because, to me at least, it looks like they're doing him right. And as for Black Panther, holy crap. Chadwick Boseman was marvelous as this new character. No spoilers, but from the moment that he shows up on screen, he immediately became my favorite new character. The action scenes between him and several other of the superheroes in the movie blew my mind. They were so much fun and so intense. And I can't really say much more about them because I don't want to give anything away, but I can tell you that I am now very excited to see his standalone movie. Now, I would be remiss if I went through this entire review and didn't talk about the action, because without a doubt, this has the best action sequences I've ever seen in a superhero movie, and in fact, some of the best I've ever seen, period. And it's my understanding that the guys that did the stunt coordinating for this film were the ones that did the phenomenal John Wick. And that makes sense because just like in that film, the scenes are so well choreographed and feel so realistic that as audience members, the stakes are just that much higher. And as I said before, the film is so well balanced that every character is given their moment to shine and has a memorable moment in the film. The airport scene alone is worth the price of admission to see this movie. And that's only one of about 6 great sequences in this film. The only tiny nitpick that I'll give this movie is with its villain. And let me just say that there's nothing wrong with Daniel Bruhl's performance. He does a good job for what he's given. The problem is that he's in such a small part of the movie that he's never really fleshed out, so we don't really care about him. So even though towards the end his motivations are revealed, it doesn't really feel all that necessary. He's more just a plot device to keep the story moving forward. However, despite that tiny flaw, I can say without a doubt that this is my favorite Marvel film thus far. The mixture of excellent performances and top-notch filmmaking keep the film so engaging that the 2.5-hour runtime flies by. This is the epitome of what a movie should be. It's entertainment from start to finish with enough interesting subtext and emotionally resonant moments that you're almost certainly going to want to return for a second viewing. I'm giving Captain America Civil War a 9.5 out of 10. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. You know, I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed my review for Captain America Civil War, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below with your thoughts. And if you want to see more reviews like this, then please subscribe. Tell me down in the comments below, were you Team Cap or Team Iron Man? And did it change after you saw the movie? Let me know. I'd love to have a conversation with you. That's all I've got today, guys. So until next time, my name is Josh Wingard. Keep watching those movies. I'll see you.